So I just talked to an electrical company, and I'm gonna be starting my apprenticeship soon. And this guy told me his top guys, right, not the ones running the company, the ones running the job site and making sure everything's happening, are making like $64 an hour. Okay, that's much more than software developers are making right now, in most cases. And the average age of an electrician is 42 years old. The average age of a software developer is 32 years old. And I think this trend would probably, show to be consistent throughout all like technological based, sitting behind a computer professions. And I think for most trades it's reflective as well. Um, Maybe not making more, but the average age and the progression of um, jobs available. I think. I think we're gonna see some really, really scary, weird things going on in the next 10 years. If you're thinking about like, holy shit, I just graduated high school. What the fuck should I do? Whatever you do, don't don't cross trades off your list. But also realize that you're going to be working with people that are much older than you, that grew up differently than you, and they're going to expect you not to be soft and hardworking. It's just a weird, really weird situation. Um, I spent a little bit of time looking into this, but I can also just kind of tell. You know what I mean? For example, um, people that work in you know the tech industry, like they generally work, you know, 40 to 50 hours a week, in some cases maybe 60. But every electrician that I've talked to, they work between 50 and 80 hours a week, most of them closer to 70. And there's still a huge demand. If every software engineer decided to work that much, the demand would go down so much, it'd be ridiculous. And there's still a huge demand. It's just really going to be odd when there's going to be software developers in 10 years that are making, you know, with inflation, probably like $70,000 a year, right? And then plumbers and electricians and HVAC guys who are making $160,000, $150,000, in some cases $200,000 a year. And then when that person who doesn't know how to do jack squat for themselves because they've been raised and coddled their whole entire life and they've never really had to do anything with their $70,000 job, they're going to be in the situation where they have to pay that electrician or plumber or HVAC guy or framer or whatever, you know, 3 times the amount to get this job done because there's such a high demand and there's such a low workforce to do it. And then you're going to have the issue where everybody's going to be super young and they're going to be starting out, and then they're going to be being trained with by very few amount of people, and the quality of work will probably take a hit because it doesn't matter if I go start my electrician apprenticeship and I have 15 guys that have been around me that have been in the industry for 7 to 20 years, and then in 20 years or 10 years someone starts their apprenticeship and there's 25 apprentice electricians and there's 7 guys that have been an electrician for 7 to 20 years. The ability for them to teach, the time they have to teach, is going to be cut drastically. And we're gonna be in a fucked up situation pretty soon, and I think people need to like really start thinking about that. And I think this whole college idea that we're being pushed upon us our entire lives is just ridiculous, and we're gonna see the consequences of it in probably 5 to 10 years. And this lazy, entitled attitude that my generation has is gonna be reflected on the next generation, you know, and they're gonna see how fucking ridiculous their parents are and how lazy they are and how making terrible decisions are not a good idea. And hopefully they fix it. But my goodness, I'm going to have a hell of a time in this country for the next 20 years, I think. Just dealing with the inept people that are incapable. You know what I mean? Like they're like, I go to my job, I come home, and I watch Netflix and go to sleep. My refrigerator is broken. I need to pay Home Depot to deliver that refrigerator, install it for me, and then leave. Why does it cost 30% more money? That's not fair. Well, you have no other option because you don't know how to do it yourself, and nobody else knows how to do it themselves or is willing to do it. So you're going to pay somebody to do something that's not a very high of skill, but you're going to pay them a lot of money because you're just clueless. The same thing goes if you need your deck rebuilt, or if you need new plugins, or if you're building your house, or whatever. Everyone's going to end up having to live in apartments and renting, and there's going to be a very huge gap in between the upper to middle class to the poverty-stricken people. And it's going to be like, right now it's about, for me it feels like it's about, like, once you're making, $200,000 a year as a household or as an individual, you're pretty much golden. Like, you're in a really good spot. Things aren't easy, but you're having a good time and you can handle setbacks and nothing's going to put you out on the street. And you're having a hard time at about under probably $70,000 as a household right now. You're probably having a hard time, at least in the Portland area. And that's going to just get so much bigger. Like, there's just no way it doesn't. Like, I'm talking like it's going to be like you're making $70,000 a year, and then that middle class threshold, which is going to be a much smaller percentage of people, it's going to be like, at least 20% increase in that gap, right? And then the gap in between the middle class and the upper middle class and between the mega wealthy is probably going to get bigger too. And it's just like, and you're going to put your kids in a fucked up situation where everybody's trying to fuck with them, everybody's trying to take advantage of them, and if they want to get somewhere, they're going to have to make the same amount of money as Joe Blow working at Fred Meyer's, except he's going to have to work 3 times as hard, and he might not get further ahead of him for the next 5 years, and they're not going to be ready for that. Like, why would you do that? How do you expect an 18-year-old to make good decisions when there's no reward for 5 years, when they've been getting participation trophies their entire life? Like, how do you expect someone psychologically to do that? It doesn't make sense. There's just so many things going the wrong direction. It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't even know what to really say about it. There needs to be a conversation had with the teachers' unions, the trade unions, and local governments. It is up to those people to solve this problem. This is not a federal government problem. The federal government can't frickin' do a damn thing right. I don't expect them to. I would hopefully they just stay out of this issue. But parents, dude, Jesus Christ, quit giving your kids trophies. Quit coddling them. Life is hard. It's not free. You can't just have anything you want in this world. You can work hard and obtain anything that is capable of being attaining if you work hard. But there's no, you can have this for nothing. That's not how shit works. And now we're fucked because we've been giving gold stars, high fives, and hugs for waking up in the morning. Like, what the fuck is going on? That's my rant for today. Stay tuned for more rants or just discussion topics.